You're listening.
I just don't care.
Look, if you're 300 pounds, then you are a monster, and I don't want you to talk.
Welcome back to This Is a Work. My name is David Hensley. I'm the owner and creative director of Long Walk Productions, and I am here to introduce your host, David Two Dogs Hayes.
Thank you very much, David Hensley, and welcome to Rock Hill, South Carolina's only premier wrestling pay-per-view podcast. This is a work. With me, as always, my tag team partner, Chris, the Fashion Plate Barnes. How are you, brother?
I've been here nearly every episode. You've never gotten my name right.
What? That doesn't sound right. And I also want to welcome back David Hensley. We missed you last time.
Yeah, I was sorry that I couldn't be here, but you guys did a great job in my absence. I listened to the episode, and you guys don't need me. Well, this is why I just chime in occasionally with sarcastic comments.
Well, Chris said he was tired of doing stuff, and honestly, I don't blame him because, well, I'm tired of Chris doing stuff too. So
Chris is also. Yes, Chris is very tired of it. We're in agreement here.
So this time around, we had the Survivor Series. This is one of the big four. This is the second of the big four pay-per-views that ever came to light. And I have to say from the bottom of my heart, as far as promotion goes and story writing, shame on you, WWE. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Absolutely. It's almost like you didn't care. All you have to do is work a little bit. This card writes itself. And because it's always SmackDown versus Raw, you did nothing for a lead up. Nothing. You had a couple of qualifying matches, and then the Raw people don't get along. Oh no, and the SmackDown, and then the tribal leader and the thing, and then hey, we don't want Randy to go in against Roman because that's going to be terrible.
I don't want to get on you here, but it's not nice of you to quote the pre-show if you're just going to talk about being lazy.
Yeah. And speaking of which, you want to just jump right into it?
Which part? What do you...
Let's just go right into the pre-show.
Let's do it.
The dual brand battle royal.
Here's something that bothered me about that. It's like you always watching something like that.
Was it the prestige that the winner got? Is that what bothered you?
It was the prestige that nobody got in that match. Here's the thing. It was like, I don't know how many people were in the battle royal.
I have no idea.
But you know who's not winning? Anyone who was in the ring when the camera cut to it. Right. It was going to be one of like the 5 people who got entrances.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be Kalisto. It wasn't going to be Umberto.
Despite the fact that all those people are worthy of getting entrances.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, there weren't any actual jobbers in that ring.
Not in particularly.
You can make arguments here and there.
Yeah, Umberto works in catering with Dana Brooke and Titus. So
it's nice of them to give them like 30 minutes off. Let them take their breaks early so they could do the match.
I generally love a battle royal.
Yeah. It's a fun bit of controlled chaos when it's done right.
It is, but pourquoi? I mean,
no, Maurice wasn't in it.
Why?
Yeah.
What for what reason? Just to have a mark on your?
I guess to give those guys something to do. But it seems like a disservice.
Yeah, and yes, I realized that we were going to run long because of Taker, and you got to, make concessions for that as well.
Right.
And but you still got to have something to do. But incidentally, if you're talking about the actual show,
yeah.
What was it? 2 hours and 45 minutes.
The official show started at 7, didn't it?
Started at 7.
Ended at 10:30.
Well, if you count the Taker farewell, it did.
I do.
The actual wrestling part of it was done by 9:45.
Wow. Okay.
So we're roughly a little more than 2 hours and 45 minutes, a little more, maybe 2 hours and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
And Taker, he lasted 30 minutes, and
it really did. I was not looking at. I made a point of not checking my clock at all during that, because I just I should watch this just to be just to see how it plays out.
Yeah, no, I did check it when he started, when everyone started.
Yeah.
And I checked it when we saw the emblem pop up.
Oh, okay.
That was about it, and I was like, yeah, this was roughly 30 minutes, give or take.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, there is nothing to say about this dual brand battle royal. The Miz goes over, and there's nothing really spectacular to say about the way he won. It was an easy win way they always
do. It was the classic through the ropes, sneak back in when the last guy thinks he's won.
Right. And now there is one thing that I haven't seen actually ever, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Miz was thrown over the top, and he rolls back in.
Right.
But he didn't actually get to his feet, and I want to say it was Mysterio, or no, it was Dominic.
Dominic, yeah.
Yeah, it was Dominic that gave him the baseball slide out of the ring.
Okay, yeah.
But because he slid back in,
he was not eliminated.
He wasn't eliminated.
He was still in play.
So, yeah, that was new, but who cares? I mean, it's.
I want to see the classic Jimmy Hart version of that, where they just hide under the ring.
This could have at least been a title, the winner will be number one contender for either the U.S. title, or the number one contender for the U.S. title or the IC belt, whatever. Sure. Whatever brand it is.
Whichever one is less devalued by the match.
Yeah. You could have done something. That's all I'm saying. And you did nothing. Having said that, it's a battle royal, and it kind of speaks for itself. So I gave it a 3.5 because battle royals to me are always fun.
They were, to take nothing away from everyone in there, they did a good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dolph Ziggler had a weird thing going on where he started with a hat on and he lost it, and then he got it back.
Yeah, he picked his hat back up and put it back on.
Lost it again, but still.
Which goes to show you how little anybody cared. Even the wrestlers themselves. He was more concerned about putting his hat back on.
I was very concerned about his hat. It became the storyline for me for that match.
Right. So yeah, 3.5. The Miz wins. Holds up his Money in the Bank briefcase that he's taken from Otis, because why not job Otis out and just. I'm not going to get started on that. I do have some other issues with it. I do think we are being way too patient with Dominic at this point.
A little. They were being very nice to him.
He is way too slow to be pulling off the lucha moves that he is attempting,
and he's way too. He does not have the coordination yet.
No,
because you see, it's not just that he's bigger than his dad. Like Luchasaurus can pull off some pretty amazing stuff, and he's a big guy,
and his timing is better.
Yeah.
So
Dominic is still way too slow, especially on the 619, which they insist on him doing.
He needs to go down to developmental. And I know he's been in developmental for a while, but he needs to be there a little more.
Yeah.
And then put him in NXT and see what he does. honestly, I realize.
I mean, that storyline would write itself, where everyone picks on him for being, Ray's son.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, so you think you're hot shit.
Yeah. Or even better, I realize this is a problem with COVID and everything, but I wouldn't mind sending Dominic overseas to NXT UK and see what he can do over there, and get in there with some real heavy hitters. And because you're not going to do quite so much of the lucha style over there.
Oh, sure.
You're gonna hit a little more smash mouth, and the English style of wrestling is just a little more snug than anything else.
It's partially that type that's called the catch as catch can, isn't it?
It is,
because that's the type that Colt Cabana specializes in.
Exactly. Yeah. It's well.
Well, I mean, he was trained in that style. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. In fact, I'll be honest. I'd probably start watching NXT UK if that happened.
Sure.
Just to see what he can turn into.
And it would give him an identity where he doesn't have to be constantly compared to his dad.
Right. Plus, everybody knows Daddy's right there in the background. So if you take liberties with him, then you're going to have to talk to Big Daddy, which sure. I realize is a contradiction in terms. But yeah, if he goes over there, he's on his own. No one's protecting him. And, he'll sink or swim.
Right.
And that's when you'll know whether you can be a part of this business or not. So we, after this match, we have a little backstage thing. And Kevin Owens gets into an argument.
With Baron Corbin.
Yes.
Which I did like that. I did end up enjoying that because it ends with Kevin getting a good line in on Corbin.
Yeah. What did he say again?
Well, Corbin was trying to tell him to get in line with how I don't know what it is. It has something to do with like the team mentality or whatever. And basically, Kevin goes, "Okay, you know what? I'll think about it." And he goes in the locker room, pokes his head out, and he goes, "Thought about it. Nope." Closes the door.
Yeah. And then, so he turns around, he huffy, and then here comes Billie Kay with her resume and her photo on the front.
Who is just goddamn adorable, by the way.
Isn't she, though?
She was, yeah.
I honestly, I really like her in this role. I don't ever want to see her wrestling, ever. But this... I can't, it's hard for me to talk badly about the Iconics, even though they're not the Iconics anymore, because their promos are funny.
Yes.
They're funny. They get the story across. And yeah, I realize that we're kind of pushing Peyton Royce right now because she's the one that can quote unquote work out of the
we'll
two?
Get to that in a bit.
We'll get there. So moving on into the actual pay-per-view, we start off with the Men's Survivor Series. Now, the teams consist of the Limited One Keith Lee, AJ Styles, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Riddle. Versus
he needs to be teamed with someone named Sphinx.
I'll take that. So versus the SmackDown team, which consists of Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, Baron Corbin, Seth Rollins, and Otis.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Barnes, I understand you have some thoughts.
Well, we'll get there. We'll talk about the match first, and then I can talk about it.
Okay. Well, so we're going to start things out. They go back and forth. Rollins is the first one to be eliminated here. He goes in. Sheamus tags in. He drops to his knees, holds his arm out, and says he's going to sacrifice himself for the greater good.
The greater good.
Thank you. And he does. Sheamus kicks him in the face hard. Mm-hmm. He drops like a stone. Mm-hmm. And 1, 2, 3. That's it. And then he just rolls out of the ring and takes it home.
This is an elimination match, but if you want to keep your numbers, why wouldn't you still try to stop this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not understand the point of the sacrifice. What was the point?
He didn't want to deal with this bullshit, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there's that. It's also the last time that we're going to see Rollins for a little while because the baby's due. But it was weak, and I don't think anybody gets it. Least of all me. I don't understand the point of that.
If I had to guess, and I'm giving them a lot, if not too much credit here, it was the Raw team. The Raw team was outwardly uncohesive.
Yes.
But ultimately they worked together, and it was like maybe the SmackDown team seemed more in line with each other, but ultimately couldn't work together.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like I'm doing a lot of heavy lifting there for them.
Yeah, maybe. I'm grasping at straws too. Maybe it was the fact that he used to be on Raw because he was the Monday Night Messiah over here,
or the fact that it was Jay's mission to make this team win for Roman, and he didn't want to deal with that bullshit either.
Maybe I don't understand the story behind that.
The Messiah works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. So there you go.
So Seth is out, and SmackDown team just kind of at each other, and I forget who gets in next.
Well, the next person to be eliminated was Kevin Owens.
Oh, that's right. Owens gets in, does some pretty good. He shines for a bit. He always looks good. He had that moment where he basically stunned the entire Raw team.
Mm-hmm. And this was his exit. This was his swan song. He stuns a bunch of people. I think he got caught in a fireman's carry from Keith Lee.
Yes, that's it. Keith Lee took him out. Yeah, Keith Lee looked good too.
Yeah, and he got the Keith Lee gets the 1, 2, 3 on Kevin Owens. 3 stunners get. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my notes here. 3 stunners gets pinned by AJ Styles. That's what it was.
Okay.
Because Styles caught him with the.
Maybe it was Jay who took it from Keith, or you have the notes.
I've got him right here. He gets pinned by AJ, and because that was one thing that came to our attention. It was like, wow, people are not kicking out of finishers here.
Yeah,
in Survivor, this is where the Survivor Series is where a finisher matters again.
Yes,
that and we're
pressed
for time.
That's also where team preservation is supposed to matter too.
Yeah, you're supposed to go in. You give the guy pinning the guy at the boots. And
now, to be fair, at this point they had kind of cleared the corners a bit. So
true, and we are in chaos mode.
Yeah.
Now
to the point where Braun Strowman had to be the one to march over to his team and be like, "Work together, idiots."
Oh, that's right. And before all of that happened. Once Seth Rollins had eliminated himself for the most part,
it was suicide.
They decided, they decided they're going to do a team meeting.
Oh yeah, they jumped down and have a team.
And they which was weird. And
I'd have preferred they do the classic huddle up and the guy looks out.
Yeah, and Strowman decides, you know what, we're not doing this.
He just stomps over and beats him.
The Strowman Express comes barreling through and knocks down everybody, and he goes, Braun! And there you go. But catching back up, Otis is the next one to go out. Otis goes on his little rant. and he gets caught.
His hips
Oh, go ahead.
were on fire.
His hips don't lie. He's like Shakira.
His hips don't lie, and they were screaming for a ham sandwich. No, there was a lot of hip action from Otis.
Lot of the pelvic thrusting going on there.
Yeah, he was almost doing the Apache jump on it dance.
Yeah. Then Strowman gets in the ring with him.
Yeah. Who does he caterpillar? I know he caterpillared somebody.
I want to say he might have caterpillared Styles, or
he got somebody.
Yeah, or it might have been Strowman.
Strowman or Lee. I feel like it was either that or Lee.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was one
Otis
of the bigger
and Lee
guys.
had some really good back and forth.
They did.
Even though Keith Lee was like, all right.
Well, Strowman and Otis had some good back and forth going too, because he ends up he sees Strowman across the way. He rips his shirt off. So Strowman rips his shirt off. My wife passed out.
Oh, that's right. They both had the almost Hulk Hogan moment because they couldn't quite finish the rip, so they just had to sling it off them.
Yeah.
Which I know Hogan has done sometimes too. It's just like he gets to that last little quarter inch, he's like, screw it.
Yeah. But yeah, the end result of that little spot there was he gets caught by Braun and then gets taken out by the power slam. Again, another finisher. Finishers galore from Raw.
Yeah.
One finisher, dead. As God intended.
Yeah.
It matters here in Survivor Series. And then I believe the last one was Jay. Jay's the last one in the ring.
Well, Corbin gets eliminated at some point.
Yeah, when did Corbin get eliminated?
I don't remember.
I don't have it over here.
I'm not sure I care.
Yeah.
I think Lee might have gotten him.
Actually, I think that's right.
There was some chaotic moments, and I think that was when it happened.
Yeah.
Because that's Seth. That's it's Otis. That's Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
Owens. Yeah. So now we're down to Jay.
Yeah.
And Jay put up a good fight.
He did.
He did.
He tried his best to handle business, but he eventually gets caught by Keith Lee in the air.
Oh yeah, that's the fireman's carry bit. I think. Yeah.
And
power bombed him.
Power bombed the shit out of him. Damn near to hell.
That was a power bomb. That was emphasis on the power. Holy hell.
So this the Raw team of Survivor Series does a clean sweep.
Mm-hmm. Not the first time this has happened either.
No, it's not.
Once again, they like reemphasizing that SmackDown is the B show.
Mm-hmm. Now you've got some thoughts, right?
I do, because I don't know if it wasn't immediately after, but there was a segment after this where Jay has to go report to Roman.
Yeah.
And gets dressed down for losing.
Yeah.
And is threatened with losing his seat at the table.
Yeah.
So if that was the point of this match, that he was supposed to lead this team to victory, this was the dumbest fucking way I could have seen it happening. Mm-hmm. And it occurred to me later how stupid it was.
Yeah. Because
the position they put that Jay in, Roman's right. Yeah. That was fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
It's like he's supposed to be the bad guy, and this isn't fair to Jay, but that was piss poor.
Yeah. He should be admonished for this.
He should be at the kids' table now.
Right.
That's fucking atrocious. That's the match should have been, if this is what they're trying to emphasize, that Roman's bearing down and he's being unfair and he's being cruel, then that match should have been a nail biter.
Yeah.
Jay should have almost had it. It should have been right there, inches away, taken, and then Roman treats him like trash despite doing that.
Yeah, that would have made a much better story.
Right.
And you know something? It's not that complicated of a story either. We could go down to, it's Uso versus Strowman or Lee. How about how about we give Keith Lee a little rub here?
Yeah, it could have been Lee. Like Strowman and Otis could have had a thing where they ended up like going to the back or getting counted out simultaneously. That's a classic when you want to make someone get eliminated without taking a pin.
And maybe Jay cleans house there for a second. Maybe he gets like 2 or 3 pins, and
someone gets DQ'd. DQs are still a thing in a Survivor Series elimination match.
They are.
That's how you get rid of someone. Like some people just brawl to the back. They're gone. They're counted out. Bye-bye.
Yep, that's it.
You can do this. You don't have to have someone take a pin. And you can still make it look incredibly close.
It was extremely shoddy work on the part of building a story.
It was abysmal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because guess what? Roman's right. Jay fucked up hard in the storyline. You know, maybe the team wasn't as cohesive as it could have been, but he had the talent to win. So yeah, when a team gets wiped like that, you're the fuck up. He's right. I don't want to take Roman's side, but he's right. Like he's the heel.
No, it's okay.
Don't start with that.
No, in fact, the words "Roman is right" are banned from this show forever, effective immediately.
In logic, in the storytelling, I'm supposed to hate him because he's being a bastard and basically running a Samoan crime family.
Yeah. But by everything that we've seen here, it's going to be Reigns Uso 2024. That's what's going to happen here.
But yeah, I would. But taking that in, I'd have been like, pack your fucking bags, man.
Yeah.
It's like I can't feel sorry for someone when you make it look that embarrassing.
Yeah. Because the team couldn't even get along,
to the point where they would cut to Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
and he would cut to Paul Heyman watching the match, and then when he lost, Paul Heyman had this look that we described as he shit his pants into his shoes.
Yeah. Now, none of that withstanding, I really did.
And on top of that, AJ had his bodyguard out there for a while.
Who has yet
he caught AJ once and rolled him back in.
Yeah. That's the only thing we have seen him do I keep thinking of the Simpsons episode where there's like a mafia fight on the Simpsons front lawn. And the guy in white.
And Marge is telling Homer to go inside, but it's like, look at that guy over there. He's just standing still. You know he's going to do something cool, and if I look away, I'll miss it. And he looks away, and you hear.
And you see him. He goes inside, and then you can see through the window. There's spinning cartwheels and him just flying back and forth.
So you know when that guy finally starts doing stuff, it's supposed to be cool.
Yeah, and we have yet to see him. Well, first of all, we know he can talk because when he was the doorman for Raw Underground, thank God that's gone. He was able to speak to Shane.
Well, it was Raw Underground, so they just went ahead and finished burying it.
Now the only thing that he's done is he has caught AJ Styles, and before that, I believe he stopped somebody from sticking the microphone in AJ's face. That's it.
So and going back to your point, so way to fuck up telling your own story,
right?
And if what you said was true, that they may have done that just to stick it to Fox. Or
it's a possibility.
Again, Fox won't care.
They won't, and
so they've done nothing but hurt their own talent and their own story for no reason.
And you know what? Maybe we're both wrong, and it's just fucking laziness.
It is. It
feels lazy story writing.
It is. It is because.
And this is also this is what happens every year because the Survivor Series. I know I've done this 3 or 4. Well, how many years are we doing this now?
That many.
2 years. So this will be our 3rd Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Well, the past 2 have been awful, and because they keep doing the same fucking thing, and it is once we get around to Survivor Series, the writers just take the next 2 months off, And they're just like,
Because
yeah,
it doesn't matter till the build to WrestleMania.
yeah. And then they always do the same thing. January, the new year, new us. We do bringing the good stuff. Look at the NXT people coming up.
I think what hurts the most is
remember when EC3 got that huge build? And we were so excited.
I don't actually.
Yeah, I do. Oh, man. And then he kept showing up, but he never said anything. And that's where that his whole thing is about the promo. That's his wheelhouse. And he never spoke. I don't think he spoke one time in this federation.
Well, no, he did when he was Derek Bateman on NXT.
True. That's true. Yeah.
And he was good at it, and now he's back in Impact where he's able to talk again.
Yeah.
But my point was, what bothers me the most is they did this with Nia and Shayna, and they do this with almost every team. It's like, oh, let's make it a team of rivals, and they bicker, and they're all, they're not really working together, but they're working for a common cause, so maybe it'll work. And I remember, and I've watched past Survivor Series where the whole thing was the teams had a common cause, even the heels.
Yeah.
And they actually they would give team promos where it was like, we're taking them down, ha ha ha. There was actually a seeming serious sense of bond between them.
Let me ask you this, Chris, and you'll have to forgive me because I am not the seasoned professional wrestling story writer that the WWE writers are. Right. So this is just right off the top of my head. But what would have been wrong with saying, oh, I don't know, Retribution versus a collective team of Raw, because they've been running roughshod and beating everybody up and then running away. What would have been wrong with that?
Something they alluded to in the build-up.
Yeah. So
I dare say having that kind of a confrontation in a Survivor Series style elimination match, why that would have been, dare I say, almost interesting to watch.
Yeah, decent build because they came in, they just right at the end of the beginning of fall. When they made their grand entrance and started actually becoming a team.
Sure. And I know they're technically now employees of the place they're trying to destroy.
Right.
So they can be ordered to show up and do that.
Yeah. Or maybe, just maybe. I understand Ricochet and Apollo Crews and a couple and Riddle. And somebody else may or may not have a problem with the Hurt Business. So maybe have them, maybe that could be a Survivor Series team. That's again, I'm not a booker. I don't have the seasoned mind or writing prowess that all of these writers have, but face versus heel.
I don't know. It's kind of out there taking the existing storylines they have and using them to effect in Survivor Series.
It's like it's like I'm a witch.
It's kind of wild.
So it's a radical
grain
thing.
Grain of salt.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think we've made our point.
We might have belabored it a bit.
Now, having said all of that, and I realize we did bury this a little bit more.
I buried the storyline. The action was fun.
The action in ring, I very much enjoyed. It sounds so hypocritical now.
Knowing nothing about ongoing storylines or anything like that, I actually enjoyed watching this match, which is not something that
everyone had a chance to shine, and that's great.
Yeah, and I gave it 3.5 Meltzers. I really did enjoy the match itself.
It was more, despite the fact that I just hate the clean sweep in general. It just ruined it more when they had the segment where they basically told me in storyline, "Oh, Jay's useless."
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, 3.5 Meltzers. I think we've made our point here.
Storyline bad, action good.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you just ignore that storyline and just skip that Roman segment, you'll enjoy
I
the
think
match
you
more.
would have. Yeah, I think somebody off the street that had never watched wrestling before, that came in and they saw that match, I think they would have gotten their money's worth and enjoyed themselves.
Sure.
Okay, so now we're going to move into our next Survivor Series match. Well, it's not the Survivor Series match, but it is brand versus brand, title versus title. Now,
Well, champion versus champion, not title versus title.
you're right. Champion versus champion. It would have been nice if we did title for title in, one of these. Because if it's one thing that WWE has done,
I'll be honest, not these matches.
the tag team.
Oh wait, maybe the tag.
Because if it is one thing that WWE has done very well this year and last year, it is destroy the tag team division. Here as of late,
Yeah.
they have just destroyed it. There's maybe 5 teams.
Here's what I think happens. Every so often, someone's able to sneak in behind when Vince isn't looking and rebuild the tag teams. And then Vince turns back around and goes, "What the hell are you doing over there?" And
Yeah.
it's like, no, knocks that shit back over.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why now y'all don't give me shit for this, because there's a point. I also say, let's get rid of the women's tag team titles. Why?
That was quick.
I mean, really, there are 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
One of them doesn't belong together. 3. You have.
In fairness, before COVID, there was a chance that we could have had more teams, but at this point, yeah, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, we've got Mandy Rose and
Like you had a limited number of teams, and then you went and broke some of them up.
right. So now we have Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, the caterer, and then we've got Shania.
Yes.
And there's another one. Who am I thinking of?
Well, I mean, wait, you mean like newer teams, or?
There's
I mean, there's the reformed the Riot Squad.
Oh, the Riot Squad. Thank you.
Ruby Riot and Liv.
Yeah,
Morgan?
the Riot Squad. And technically, this Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce.
Kinda, I guess.
Kinda.
But they just gave Peyton Royce the go ahead for singles, so
Yeah, after they broke up a tag team.
an iconic tag team.
An iconic tag team to put her into a.
And then they broke
tag
up,
team.
and then Bailey and Sasha broke up.
Yeah. So it's you got 3.
Yeah.
And Brooks and Mandy Rose is out with an injury, so you got 2. So I mean, what are we doing?
Well, now they get to hold on. Now Shania gets to hold on to them and now they get to beef up their stats with how long they've held on to them.
Yeah. So give them, maybe they drop the belts to the Riot Squad, which that's the whole thing that makes sense. So so best believe they'll never do it.
I mean, if you're trying to convince us that the Riot Squad is back and better than ever, what better thing to do than make them champs?
Yeah, make them champs. And since they don't have anybody to face,
then the team that they kept pushing as not really wanting to be a team together.
yeah,
that was the whole shtick for a while.
Boy, that's tough. Anyway, we have digressed.
Supposed to be this heel odd couple. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so speaking of tag teams, we have the SmackDown. Is it the SmackDown champs? New Day. Oh
yes.
Christ!
Wait, New Day. No, I think New Day went to Raw, didn't they?
Yeah. You know what it is. I don't care.
Okay.
That's what. Okay. Street Profits versus New Day.
New Day came out in their Gears of War,
Which was awesome.
yeah, their DLC.
I'm not even a Gears of War fan, and
no.
I
saw it announced on Twitter when I saw it, then they came out in it, and it's like, oh, that's good.
I'm not even a Gears of War fan, and I kind of want to play it now.
Which Ted rightfully pointed out. The New Day and their attitudes is like the antithesis of that entire series.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
It is. Well, I mean, it's like that whole series started and kind of like they were at the forefront of that era of early to mid-aughts video games that were like the brown palette, and then it's like the beige washed out color palettes is like where brown is the primary color and everything's grim and gritty.
And also the era of ultra-violence,
Yeah.
where, you know, the big draw of the game when it started was your machine gun has a chainsaw on it, chainsaw bayonet, and you can also curb stomp the enemies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which Xavier's trombone had the chainsaw at the end of it.
Yes, it did. Oh, it was that.
But yeah,
They looked great.
They did. They looked fantastic.
Now, Private Party comes out.
That's not who that was.
What? What do you mean? Well, it sure as hell looked like them.
Now they didn't come out at first, and we complained about this. They gave a promo in the back,
Yeah,
and then we realized, oh, New Day needed time to get their gear off.
that's right. And may I just say, Angelo Dawkins is anorexic.
He got smaller.
He got smaller, and I believe I asked the question during the match: how is he skinny and fat at the same time?
I mean, good on him. He lost weight, and he's looking, yeah.
He looks like a fat guy that lost a bunch of weight.
Well,
like there's
he looks very. You can see it in the face. He looks very different now.
Yeah, it's he really does.
And look, it takes a while for the body to catch up if you've lost weight.
Well, that's what steroids are for, Chris. I mean,
God, not everyone's taking a jab in the butt, man.
well, they should.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
But then he's less mobile. And that's their thing.
That's a good point. That is their thing.
And Montez somehow got smaller too.
Yeah. He was already too thin. They need to.
He
needs to eat
You know what it was?
something.
It's because he's so much taller that he looked like and he had muscle. It was lean muscle. He looked very wiry.
Yeah. But so this match. This was a great match.
100%. And I knew it was going to be a fun match because when the Street Profits were making their entrance, the New Day was digging it.
Yeah. The only real note, because there's...
Oh, and Big E got to come out with them.
He did.
Because
he did.
Because it's a cross-brand pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. So that's probably going to be the one and only time that gets to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun. And the only real note that I have on this is right as the match started, Kofi did the weirdest drop down.
I don't remember.
It was a tackle drop down.
Okay.
And Kofi just landed weirder than anything I've ever seen on his drop down. And honestly, now I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was kind of laying kind of catty-cornered, and it was wonky looking.
I'm sure I remember seeing it at the time, but I can't recall it.
Yeah, that was really the only note. These two are just, athletes personified. These guys are fantastic. They work very well together. This was a great match.
It was a great match, and it was a great face versus face match.
It was, and you rarely see that.
It can be hard to pull off, but they totally did. Mm-hmm. There was even that one moment where they had, I think it was Montez in a lock or a submission hold, and was it Kofi who got on the ring apron and had a red cup and was just sipping out of it and right in front of him?
Oh, that's right. Yes, it was.
And Montez, because you see the camera, and this was actually, I will for once praise the camera work of WWE because they because really they love to replay the wrong shit all the time. But the camera guy did a phenomenal job because he had the camera first on Montez, and you see Montez get mad while he's in the hold. And then it pans over, and I think it was Kofi on the ring apron just sipping from a red cup while looking at him and was like, "Hi."
Yeah, it was. This match was great.
And at the end, they shook hands and everything, and it was just a great moment of respect.
Yeah. So Street Profits over on the New Day. Fun match. I give it 3 Meltzers.
Sure.
I think this would have been better if. I'm just gonna keep saying it, guys. It's time to unify the titles.
I think the tag ones being separate is still good because it gives more people a chance to be a part of something.
What, those 6 tag teams that are...
Look, I know, yeah, COVID. But it would just, even
if COVID weren't here, there's still 6 tag teams.
I think if COVID weren't here, there would be more of an opportunity to have more teams at least.
Honestly, I'll tell you what I'd love to see.
Yeah.
Maybe next Survivor Series, Vince. Let's do this because your tag division down in NXT is not that stellar either, and you've got some great competitors down there. I would like to see the NXT tag team belts, the Raw tag team belts, and the SmackDown tag team belts. Let's unify them all, and then the champion can go to all 3, since we're clearly not doing live shows anymore. Then we're not going to be doing live houses. Vince has already said he doesn't want to do house shows anymore.
I've got a response from Vince. It's absolutely not. Go to hell.
Well, that's what I'm used to getting. I'm going to send him the same Christmas card. So.
Is that one of your butt?
It is. Oh, you've got it too.
It just says join the club underneath it.
Yeah. That's the same one you got. Merry Christmas, by the way.
Those burn really nice.
How dare you? I took Tom into that. So the next match we have our U.S. title holder, which is Bobby Lashley, versus the Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn. I don't know what you want me to say here.
Here's what I'll say. The man who was ostensibly the face in this confrontation, Bobby Lashley, came down with an entourage.
Yeah.
I don't know why he needed that many people to take on Sami Zayn because...
We knew this was going to go down this way. Everybody knew way before.
Stupidly?
Yeah. I'm going to defend it for a minute.
Sure.
Not only am I going to defend
it,
I'm going to also defend Lashley.
Fine. Well, you're on thin ice.
He's getting better every time. Every pay-per-view, he gets just a little bit better.
He is. What I'm saying is the circumstances of this match, the ones that they didn't have control over while wrestling in the ring, were stupid.
I agree.
Entirely dumb, and you've made the Intercontinental Championship look that much poorer.
Yeah,
you've made the Intercontinental title.
I agree with that too.
You've made the Intercontinental title as a rep match the dumb belt it has now.
I'll tell you, this would have been another fantastic time to unify some belts, and I'll be honest, I want Sammy to go over.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you're unifying U.S. and Intercontinental, I would definitely say Intercontinental stays.
Absolutely, there's more prestige behind the IC belt than there is the U.S. title. They just you stole that from WCW, and
and the current one they stole from like a truck front grill.
Right.
I know I'm kind of in a minority here at this point, and on Twitter as well, because people grew up looking at the giant flag one. But I didn't like that one very much. It looks wise. I know you're going to defend it.
I am. I did like it.
Here's the thing. I was kind of ambivalent to that design. I never really liked it, but I was like, it's fine. But what they have now is awful, and I hate it.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I'm all for get rid of that one. Keep the IC belt. It's a WWE product.
But man, the current U.S. title looks way better than the current IC title.
It does.
I hate the current IC title.
And why are we doing this to the titles? I realize that we're trying to make a buck here because you got the title belt fanboys,
of course,
that are buying them every time a new title comes out, and I get that. I understand we're making a buck.
That's why they advertise almost every pay-per-view now. At the front of the show, they'll run an ad for the WWE shop, and one of the things they'll always advertise is, "Ooh, tonight 30% off on title belts."
But yeah, see, this is the problem though. You're trying to make your money at the gimmick station and at concessions. You don't. How about you make your money at the wrestling table? I mean, at the ticket door, and then we'll sell the gimmicks. Let's concentrate on the rest. What I'm saying is there's more to worry about than the title, than what the title looks like. We got problems with wrestling. We got problems with story. We got problems with psychology in the ring. To be fair,
yes.
I don't knock AEW a lot, but they got problems with psychology too.
Do.
You know, young bucks. But anyway, there's nothing to say about this match. Sami Zayn loses. You knew he was going to. It's a damn shame. He's a much better wrestler than Lashley.
I wish he'd had more. I mean, he got some good spots in, including tripping over MVP's foot and claiming he got tripped.
I
thought that was going to be the moment where he convinces the ref to send them away, because I didn't like the fact that the rest of the Hurt Business was surrounding that ring
and taunting him a little. And
they were trying to taunt Sammy into attacking them, which is again, they're supposed to be. They're not may not exactly be 100% babyface, but they're supposed to be the people you want to root for in this match.
Right.
And Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn, he should have been like, guys, I got this. You don't need to come out.
Yeah,
because honestly, from Bobby Lashley's perspective, look at him, look at Sammy. He's like, I got this.
We talked about on the last pay-per-view we did. We talked about MJF pulling an Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
and that's what Sammy attempted to do.
Yes,
with the fake trip there at the end.
Yeah,
it's just that the ref saw it.
Right.
And
I wish there had been more of that. Sammy had more opportunities to do that, because that's not only his wheelhouse, but his advantage in a match like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Being a sneaky weasel.
Yeah.
My only contribution to this particular discussion is that I spent the first 10 minutes of this match thinking that Sami Zayn was Daniel Bryan.
And we have commented on that they both probably smell the same. They both smell like patchouli and granola. Zayn's poor jacket, I noted, like, he's already sweating a ton coming out, where he's got oil on him, and he's just wearing that jacket shirtless, and it's like, that's a nice jacket. I hope he washed that. No, he didn't wash it.
He doesn't.
Because all that soap goes into the ocean, and he's not having it, so.
Well, that cleans the fish, too.
Yeah. So you don't have to clean them before you eat them.
That's how the scales shine so much.
That's right.
Anyway.
I gave this match 2.5 Meltzers.
Okay.
It's not that it was a fine match. It was okay. We knew what was going to happen. There was no meat on that bone, and nobody really cared in the first place.
Yeah, there was the way this match was presented was weird to me.
And I'm going to make another confession here. I am slowly starting to get on Team Lashley. If he will continue to get better, I'll even accept MVP, and I hate MVP. If he will continue to get better, even though MVP is his manager and that'll be his mouthpiece.
His albatross.
Yeah, his albatross. I will accept it.
I think I see what it is though. He really does do better with a group. Not just
it's Roman Reigns syndrome is what it is.
Not exactly though, because I think just a group there, like not just even just supporting him like that out there helps him some. Like I don't know what it does.
You know,
exactly.
you're right.
It seems to bolster him.
Yeah,
It's not so much to minimize the damage he does, but it does seem to bolster him in a way.
I've never thought about that before until just this very moment, but I think you're right.
Because I saw some old stuff when he was in Impact and he was working with another group, and he came off really well there too.
Yeah. Whereas his first run in WWE,
yeah,
it just didn't work. But yeah, let's hope.
He plays great with an ensemble.
There it is. 2.5 Meltzers for this. Let's go into our fifth match. That's going to be the women's title. The Raw women's title versus SmackDown women's title. Asuka versus the legit boss, Sasha Banks. I don't think I've ever said like that before.
And meant it.
Yeah, I did. It's a good match.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, I didn't write any notes down because I was a little shocked at how well she did. And, she did good at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view as well.
Did, yeah. They had some, they've matched up before and they had good chemistry in the ring.
Which makes me wonder here, actually, something I'm going to talk about later, with the Boss and Hug connection, it was always Bayley that was doing the heavy lifting because Bayley was the workhorse. And we'll talk about this later, but Bayley had an off night.
Kinda, yeah.
And we'll talk. We'll cross that. Sorry about that. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Asuka looked a little off as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Banks appeared to have her shit together, and she looked really, really good. I was very impressed. I didn't write any notes because I only watched this pay-per-view once because I was dead and determined that I'm doing this one time, even though it was only 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm like, no, one time. That's it. I'm not doing this shit again. And, plus it's a short week because we've got Thanksgiving coming up. So I was I'm,
Well, and that's another thing that's kind of sad about the presentation of this show. Survivor Series has always come around at the near Thanksgiving, and previously they used to make a bigger deal of the fact that it was around Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I think. Well, if there were a few times where they've run it on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
sorry. Was bringing back the gobbledygooker not enough of making a big deal about Thanksgiving?
He should have burst out of an egg again, is what I'm saying.
I am
by
not
the way,
going to discuss this.
I will. Here we go. On
Yeah,
the pre-show,
I'll discuss it.
On the pre-show, the gobbledygooker made an appearance. They changed the look of the outfits, I guess, to be more usable, because it's to make it so someone could actually wrestle in it, because it was changed up. He surprised R-Truth after R-Truth brought him out to the pre-show. They did the normal shtick of R-Truth loses the title during the pre-show. And there's a chase for it during the regular show. Excuse me.
Oh, and that was a beautiful moment too. After the belt is lost,
Yes,
and regained or whatever the hell it was. R-Truth is chasing Gooker.
yeah. Akira Tozawa surprises Gobbledygooker and
That's what it
takes
was.
the title.
Mm-hmm. And they go chasing him.
Yes. Oh, should I mention the tweet that went out? The tweet that went out after Akira Tozawa's pinned Gobbledygooker for the title was, they tweeted out an update of Akira Tozawa winning it. They showed a picture of him with the title again. The caption they decided to use was, The Gooker is cooked.
Jesus Christ.
Now, for those who don't know, now Akira Tozawa is Japanese, but
Was that WWE.com that did that?
it was
Okay. Let me just stop you right there.
yes.
So, what time did they get to bed the night before coming up with that one? But you didn't have time to write any goddamn story for this pay-per-view?
Well, that was unfortunately, I guess, a spur of the moment thing. Because, yeah, see, there's a reason you don't throw the word "gook" around Asians.
No, you
Because
don't.
it's a slur for Koreans, especially.
Yeah. And
So,
while
while he is
a little
Japanese,
racially insensitive, kind of funny.
it is very funny in a oh god, you actually did that kind of way.
Yeah.
People have screen capped it for posterity before it got taken down. So
The one thing that I found that was funnier than that
yes,
was once Tozawa
yes,
and I started to say Kofi, but it was R-Truth. It's that we're giving chase to the Gooker.
This is why after I saw that tweet, I firmly had decided in my mind he's always going to be Gobbledygooker when I mention him from now on.
You see him running down the way.
Yeah.
Well, they forgot to turn the camera
Yes,
off.
that was in the pre-show
And
in the initial chase.
They just all stopped running.
They all got to the end. They were all like, I'm pretty sure the camera's off now. They all slow down and stop and walk off. when the cameraman realized what happened, he quickly moved. They took it off him.
Yeah. Not a good look.
No, that has happened before, but it's usually not as blatant.
Yeah.
And it's not the wrestler's fault. They had no way of judging it. That was a production problem.
That was a production problem, and it doesn't matter anyway because nobody cares about that.
No, and that's what gets me about that, especially because it's like the length of time they saw them run, they had plenty of time to cut back.
No, I will. Me and Shelby and Ted were talking about this. It is their fault. It is R-Truth and everyone else that was part of that because you don't know when that camera is going to cut away. When you're on there,
that's a good point.
There is a good point to that where it's like, honestly, mentally, they should have been like, or they should have told each other, been like, we don't stop running until we're in the back again.
Yeah. Yep. When you're off stage or off, when you're out of sight of the audience, even though I know there's not an actual audience there.
Yeah.
But it's not until you're out of sight
right,
that you break character.
You're absolutely right.
You are right because the important thing is there is an audience, the camera.
Yeah.
And if the camera can see you, you're in character. So anyway, R-Truth got his title back again at some point. But yes, the Gobbledygooker was there.
Yeah. So Asuka versus Sasha Banks.
Yes. Anyway, circling
You
back
want to talk about a segue there. Wow. Yeah, this was a decent match. Again, very impressed the way Sasha handled herself this time. And
I'm betting some of that's confidence from how well she got received with the Mandalorian stuff.
Probably.
That would put a little bit of a swagger in my step.
No, we did not see Carmella.
Oh, has she been back?
Yes.
'Cause I don't have time to watch the shows. So
Carmella has made 2 or 3 run-ins on Sasha, and just gave her the Pearl Harbor job, and then bounced out of the ring. Let me speak on this very briefly about Mella, even though she wasn't in the pay-per-view or had anything to do with it. You gotta lay off the Botox. You gotta lay off the collagen, or the plastic, whatever you're doing. Well, you gotta stop. You can't sit down in the chair and just say go for broke.
Well,
it's
when they have that intervention, they need to sit Vince down at the same time.
That's true. He looked rough, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Not a ton to say. I suggest everybody, if you're a fan of women's wrestling, go watch Champion versus Champion, Asuka versus Sasha Banks. I thought it probably the best the women's division has done this year, I would think. Yeah.
Admittedly, I zoned out a little bit. Who won that one?
It was actually Sasha Banks,
Okay.
which I thought was crazy because you're expecting Asuka to go over on this.
I feel like this is. I feel like they're striking a balance because they wiped the men's SmackDown team.
Well, there's that, but Asuka has beaten Sasha like 6 or 7 times this year.
Yes.
I mean, just dead away. Tag team, singles, whatever.
But now Sasha's a face.
Yeah.
And they're giving her a push. And they're
Yeah, I was about to say, thematically it makes sense. She beat Bayley, and now she's beaten the person who beat her so many times.
I get it, but it's also... It's Asuka. This is supposed to be the Empress of Tomorrow. I feel like this probably should have been... Again, this would have been a perfect time for Carmella to come out and Pearl Harbor, both of them, and just double DQ, something like that. That's the way we can do that.
There's a reason they couldn't. I mean, if this is in fact what I'm thinking, well, you could, but then it would look like the men's match was ripping it off.
Well. Yeah,
because that is the end of that match too.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, that's true.
And they probably felt more like protecting Drew than Asuka. I mean, not to be mean, but that's probably.
But well, I'm gonna slightly disagree with you there, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to it.
Let's move in. 3 Meltzers for that match. I enjoyed it. I think you guys will too. Moving into the Survivor Series women's match. Oh my God, in my opinion, best match of the night. Holy shit did these girls show up.
This was a fun and nuts kind of match. Yeah.
And now, it's not without problems, don't get me wrong.
Right.
I got a lot of problems with Nia.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
Walking around here.
But this is the one that's like, this is the kind of match where I like where there is back and forth, and it's like people are eliminated, get like back and forth. It's like you get a sense that it's like, oh, it could go either way at any time.
Right. So let's get it started. The first person to be eliminated.
Well, I should pipe in with a little bit of backstory.
Oh, please do.
Because you had to fill me in on this.
Let's talk about Lana.
Lana is on the Raw team, and Lana is being bullied.
Yeah,
because her other, specifically Nia hates her, and has basically made the rest of the team turn into mean girls, and just bully her relentlessly, including putting her through the announce table almost like every time.
9 times.
Nia times.
Not only that. Now I called this before the pay-per-view even started.
You did.
And the reason
this is the match where I got mad at you because you basically have this ability to think like WWE creative, and I hate it.
Well, let me give you the background why I came to this. First of all, Miro leaves, and then they start beating up on Lana and ridiculing Lana. Mm-hmm. Then they put her through a table 9 times, but then in the middle of those, somewhere in the middle of those tables, she wins a battle royal and gets a shot at the title, which obviously she loses handedly, but she did get she made a showing, a Lana showing, but as for the purposes of WWE, she showed up. She also won a match to get on to the Survivor Series team as well, which again shouldn't be happening. Also, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but they did a Chronicles on Lana.
I saw a clip of it. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
to where all they did was talk about it was the last 9 weeks of her leading up to Survivor Series, of her getting put through a table, blah, 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 blah. They hinted about Rusev, but they didn't say anything about it. They couldn't say any more than that, but they hinted. It was what it was. Like there was and the fans are being so mean to Lana.
Yeah.
And they showed some tweets that people.
And it might have to do with how they booked her.
Well,
No. Here's the thing. I know she's not the best, but to make her the screaming harpy that to the point where even Lashley is tired of her and boots her out, is like, that's gonna be a contributing factor.
It is. She was okay. She can't work. Let's call this spade a spade.
And I'll say this: she's not great, but I don't hate her, and I never have.
Oh, I do.
I know. But I've never hated her.
She's a terrible wrestler. She has the ability to cut a decent promo when the story's good, but the story hasn't been good for 8 years, so you're getting some bad promos. She's a valet. She's not a good manager. Let's call that what it is too.
So we say all that to say this: the team bullies her and shuts her out to the point where they make her stand on the ring steps and not participate. Yes.
So she stands there with her freshly applied lipstick smeared on her face
because she's in there for a round. She loses the upper hand, so the next they tag her out and make her stand there. Yeah.
Now let me see if I can do this properly. So now Lana's on the outside. Peyton Royce gets the first pin. And she pinned Bayley.
Yes, she did.
Of all the people on that team, Peyton freaking Iconics Royce pinned Bayley. But you know what? From what I saw from Bayley Sunday night, probably was, I don't know, it was bad night at the office for Bayley. She was off. She didn't look good. She wasn't working well. I don't know what her problem was. But yet her timing was off. She looked slow. And yeah, it was kind of tough. But yeah. Pause. I'm cracking here a little bit.
I heard a crackling too. I heard it a few times, but I don't know what it was exactly. Was it you? Was it the mic?
Yeah. I think it was me.
Do you think it was the mic or?
That's why I tried to pull it away, but when I pulled it away, I was hearing it in.
Maybe it's the mic cord. I was just.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't hear it. It's not mine.
Okay. Okay, I'll
you can probably dampen that. It probably won't be anything major.
Yeah. Sorry about that. All right, we'll pick it back up. 3, 2, 1. So Bayley, she's the first person to get eliminated. Number 2, Natty.
Oh yeah.
Ends up beating Peyton. Pins Peyton. Almost right after. The third elimination was Lacey Evans, who pins Natty. Now, and these are not one after another. This took some time in between, and it was odd. But But yeah, so number 4 was.
I think I'm just to jump in. I think one of my favorite moments, because we were joking all through the match about Nia and how well she takes care of the people she's wrestling. One of my favorite points was Nia charging towards Bianca and Bianca just bailing out of the ring.
Which, yeah, let's see if I can do this right now. At I believe when Lacey Evans pinned Natty,
yes,
Lana got in the ring.
Yes.
And
is that when they told her to get on the step?
And that's when she was she did a couple of things.
Yeah.
And then she went to tag out and nobody would tag.
Which again, they were trying to get rid of her. So.
Yeah. And Nia finally gave her the tag and they told her, get down on the steps.
Yeah.
And don't you move the whole time.
This was crossing a line for me from, heel to, this is uncomfortable. I feel like she was told to do this.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. It's downright abusive.
It is. And the reason, now, Barnes, I'm going to tell you.
Sure.
Do not fall for this.
Yeah.
Do not give her sympathy. This is what WWE is trying to garner. They're trying to garner sympathy from Lana so that she can get some big win that she does not deserve.
They've done nothing with her, as far as I can see, to make me care. No, but on a general level,
They're going to.
But on a general level, that moment was really uncomfortable.
It was.
It didn't give me sympathy. It gave me a yikes moment.
Right. It was uncomfortable because it didn't matter who it was in that spot. Watching 4 people gang up on and bully another person who, as far as we know, for no apparent reason, that's going to be uncomfortable, whoever it is being bullied.
Now, if we're going to bully Otis, because he's
that's funny to me
because he's fat and stupid.
Well, here's the thing. That's fun.
That's okay because we know we like Otis anyway.
Yeah, and on top of that, Otis wouldn't care.
Otis will sit there, and we can get the sympathy from Otis because we've done it before.
Oh yeah,
and we can sit Otis out there, and he can stand there and pout and cry, and do his thing.
I think
Lana does not deserve this. Don't give it to her, Chris.
Well, she hasn't earned my sympathy yet.
Good. Don't give it to her.
She hasn't earned my sympathy yet.
Not yet, ever. Ever.
But she also definitely did not, and the way you stated it was right, she did not deserve that either. No.
I would have told her to stay out there too.
Yeah, but you would have done it in a way that wouldn't have made me go, God almighty. It was cringy.
Yeah,
it was cringy the way they did it, and it was just...
Yeah, that's their plan. Yeah, see, they put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah.
Into Lana's story. Lana doesn't get story. Look, damn it.
Go ahead.
Lana and the Gobbledygooker are the reasons that you did not get a solid story that night.
Yeah, look.
And one of those I will defend to the death.
Look, that's the thing. It's we have tried.
Yeah.
God, how we've tried to create some intrigue with Lana. Years have gone by. Yeah. The only time that we got anything for Lana is when Rusev started the chant, Lana is the best, Lana's number one. Lana is the best, Lana's number one. It's that we got that going. That's it. That's the only, and then we fired Rusev. So now we got nothing else.
So we got eliminated next, Dogs.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Are we at the end of it yet, or
no?
Oh, where are we at?
Because Lana's still on the outside.
All right.
So
I don't see how that'll factor anything. Go ahead.
So our fourth elimination was Ruby Riott.
Yes.
This was a great little combination here. Baszler, Baszler and Riott are in the ring, and she's going. She snaps her into the oh God, it's not a Kimura clutch. It was a what's it called?
You're asking the wrong person.
It's a rear naked choke.
Rear naked.
Yeah. I realize I have to keep. I can't just call it a rear naked and just let it hang. Not with this crew.
I would absolutely refuse to pronounce it any other way if I were on the announce team. It's the rear naked choke.
Yeah.
You mean the naked? No, I do not.
So yeah, it's a rear naked choke. That's what it is. Takes her down.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby's fighting.
Yes.
She tries to roll around to get a pin out of it while she's still in it, but the ref is distracted by the team from SmackDown and her own team. Weird, but she's not getting it. Well, the ref is distracted so long that Ruby actually falls out while she's pinning Baszler. Lets her go, rolls into it for a 3 count. Good stuff. That was a lot of fun. Our next elimination comes from Liv Morgan, who pinned Lacey Evans.
Yes.
I'm telling you, guys, you can't sleep on Liv Morgan. She's good. She's damn good. Just because she doesn't have a gimmick right now, except for being in the goddamn Riot Squad.
Is it a squad when there's just 2?
I don't. Is she still a lesbian? Are we done with that gimmick?
It's on the back burner. Till she needs to horn up on somebody again.
Yeah. I mean, Lana. She was in the ring. You know what? Never mind.
She wasn't. She was on the ring steps.
That's true.
She was on the
She
bench.
couldn't get to her. I was sitting on the bench. The 6th pin came from Nia pinning Liv Morgan. Baszler ended up. Now, this one was interesting.
Yeah.
Right here at the go home, it's there's Bianca Belair makes Belair. Thank you. Makes an amazing showing that makes that last run.
I think one of the best things to come out of this match is the potential for Baszler and Belair.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were amazing.
See, this is where I get my my sweet and salty moment here, because Belair makes this great showing in the ring, handling Nia. Nia is not selling shit.
Oh yeah, that was that was one of the things I wanted to make sure and remember to talk about during this podcast. Here's the thing.
With that said, you get 2 minutes.
Okay, I can make an argument in 2 minutes, because here it is. Nia is terrible at selling. I'm not saying that she doesn't. I'm not saying that no selling is bad. That's great, because she's supposedly supposed to be a monster sometimes.
It's how you sell it.
Yes, it's how you sell it, and when it's time to sell. And here's the thing: she starts selling, and then when she remembers what the next spot is, she's like,
she just gets up.
She gets up and just goes and runs. She got slammed into the ring steps and was up seconds later. She was thrown over the barricade and popped up like she had just been, just taking a short rest.
Yeah. She hit those ring steps and she sold it. She laid there.
It's like
I gotta get up, and then she just gets up.
It's like someone told her, okay, when you're down, count to this number and then get up.
Right, exactly.
Because that's what she seems to do.
Unfazed.
Yeah, she stops selling things that have been worked over.
I do dislike Nia more than Lana. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Lana, to my knowledge, has never hurt anybody. So.
Nope, just her own chances.
Yeah. So anyway, Nia gets up and chases Belair over the barricade.
Yeah.
The refs counting the whole time.
Yep. When was Baszler? Was Baszler eliminated?
Let me see.
Because I know, I couldn't remember when.
Oh no! Baszler got DQ'd because
right.
she
See,
had.
They did remember DQs were a thing.
That's true. She got DQ'd because
she wouldn't let go.
She wouldn't let go of the 5 count.
That's right.
And
I was amazed at that because it's been so long
because
since
she
they've done
had
something
just
like that.
her hand had just, she was out.
Yes.
Her hand had just fallen onto the rope.
Right.
But that counts.
Yes.
Touching the rope, you got to pull them off. You got to break the hold.
Yep.
She got to the count of 5. She got to the count of 5. She didn't let go. DQ.
Yes, that's right. And then it was Belair versus Nia.
And depending on what team you're for here, you can argue whether that was bullshit or not. What it made for a great talking point.
Thing it's such a thing that they tease. I mean, it's such a staple that people use the 5 count. The heels especially, they always use the 5 count to push a hold or keep hurting somebody. And Survivor Series is the perfect time to utilize that and have someone actually hit the 5 and get DQ'd.
Right.
That's how you
finishers and 5 counts
that's
matter.
How you eliminate someone you want to push as tough without having them get pinned.
Yeah, it's basic story. It's not tough to write.
The elimination match is it has so many perfect outs for when you want to get someone over. They may not win, but you have ways of getting them out without lessening that strength.
I remember a particular Survivor Series where Hogan had his team.
Yes.
And he eliminated somebody, and I don't remember who it was. But he was like, yeah, all right. And he's high-fiving his team. And the last person he high-fived was, God, I can't remember. But whoever it was had a bum leg.
Yeah.
And because they were injured, previous to the pay-per-view. And he was the last person they high-fived. The ref called that a tag. And made Hogan get out and him get in, and then they started, and he got pinned. He had to submit, and that started the downfall on the faces, losing their chances, and it was again simplicity, but compelling.
Yes, it is compelling. The hell, Hulk Hogan's a dumbass.
Yeah.
So what the end is,
right.
Nia's chasing Belair back to the ring, and they're struggling outside.
Then boom, both of them go over the barricade. The ref is counting, and he gets to 10. Bianca is
just barely at the ring.
Just barely misses that 10 count.
She crosses the plane right after the 10.
Yeah. And so double count out. The winner and sole survivor.
Yep.
I called this way before Lana. Now,
I don't know if it's a case of parallel thinking, but this almost exactly resembles a meme that I don't know if you know about. You've played Super Smash Brothers, right?
Of course.
Well, I don't know which game in particular it became a thing in. Maybe it was Brawl or one of the one right before Ultimate. There was a meme where it was something weird about the AI in the game, where people would set up the brawls between characters and Luigi would be in there, and it was just people would keep showing off these clips where everybody else would get eliminated and Luigi would be the sole winner. But he didn't do anything.
Right.
And it's a meme called Luigi wins by doing absolutely nothing. And that's what happened. Lana wins by doing absolutely nothing.
Right. And like I said, I knew this was going to happen because we've garnered, or at least attempted to garner, so much sympathy from her week after week after week after week. And then she gets her title match and she's jobbed out, and then she gets onto the Survivor Series, and then she's treated like shit. And then we do the documentary on Lana about how mean people are being to her.
There was literally a backstage promo with the team, and Lana was standing apart in almost a literal "you can't sit with us" moment.
Yeah. And it stands to reason that this is going to be... I'm kind of hoping this is her swan song.
You don't get to be that lucky.
I know. But see, you know, I have a fear about that. If this is her swan song and they are going to let her go, I've got a terrible fear that she'll come to AEW because Miro will push for it, and I don't want that to happen. Because AEW doesn't need her, and well, honestly, neither does WWE. This match was fantastic. The best thing I've seen from the women's division this year.
Oh, sure.
4 Meltzers, solid. Could have gone to 4.5, except I hated the ending. That's the only reason I didn't go 5, because the ending, I called it. I knew it was going to happen before this pay-per-view even started. I knew it was going to happen, and I wasn't happy about it. Moving into our main event right now, we have the Raw champion, or I guess the WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. And we have the Universal champion, the head of the table, the tribal chief.
Wait, don't tell me.
Say it.
Pass. Who is it?
The leader of the Roman Empire, Roman Reigns.
Oh, heard of him.
I'm not going to bullshit you on this one. I love this story so much. But again, apparently, everybody else in the world is seeing something that I'm not seeing.
Really?
Best match of the year. Somebody. Now, Chris, I want you to hold on to your taters for this one.
Okay.
Somebody on the internet, which personally, once I tell you this, you're going to agree with me. Mm-hmm. They said they made a comparison that just, I'm still livid when I think about it. Mm-hmm. Because if you say such things in, say, somewhere in the Middle East, they cut your tongue out for such blasphemous statements. They actually said this McIntyre versus Reigns was comparable to Austin versus Rock at WrestleMania.
Oh, I'm not mad. Those poor people are delusional.
Right? I mean, they need to be.
Do you think that person's just somewhere out in the world unsupervised?
They've got to be, right?
They might be licensed to drive a car.
Somebody's got to get down there.
I mean, if their vision is that bad, they're going to hit people.
Rock versus Austin? In what? Look, I like McIntyre.
That wasn't Rock. That wasn't even Rock versus Austin at any other pay-per-view ever.
That wasn't Rock or Austin versus anybody.
No, it was, to its credit, a thankfully faster Roman Reigns match, and that would have to be due to the fact that it was Drew in the ring with him.
This was
making him pick up his pace.
Better.
Yes.
It wasn't what I call good, but it was better. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Drew, for that.
Because it was at a pace that I wouldn't describe as glacial.
Right. Exactly.
Also, the ring wasn't mic'd, so when he started doing his monologue at some point, we didn't have to hear it.
Yeah, we had no idea. He was just calling the tribal chief again. We had nothing. We knew nothing.
Okay, that gimmick has to die. Roman talking to himself, just muttering while staring down at the ring or staring off into space. That gimmick needs to die.
I don't know what that's about. I don't know
what he does. He's just fucking talking to himself.
I got it last time, the last 2 times. I I don't know what this is about. He's got no issue. This is champion versus champion. This is not acknowledge me as the tribal leader. No, this is Drew's the king of Scotland. It's just his, that's different.
That's his.
It's
Scotland
a whole
Yard.
other place.
That's his Scotland Yard.
Yeah, that's. I don't know what that was. But this match, it was still very slow.
It was almost tolerable.
I did not.
Drew really put Poochie through his paces.
Yeah, the first. In fact, this is the thing where I'm so confused with the modern day wrestling fan now. People, it wasn't just one person that said this. A lot of people were saying, yeah, like the first 10 minutes were unbearable, but then the match picked up. And I was like,
that's like when people,
you're saying it backwards.
Here, I know exactly what that is. That's when you go and read a review of something on Amazon where people just bitch about the thing the whole time and then go 5 stars.
Right. It's the first 10 minutes I thought were good. It was hold for hold.
Yeah.
It was champion.
Yeah.
That's what you expected to see.
They're supposed to be
chain wrestling, right?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like they're kind of, hitting a wall because they're both the champs.
Right.
They're supposed to be the best in the company, and they're colliding.
Right. And it's not like a couple of years ago when we've got Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar, or AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. But again, that one was confusing too because people said that was the best match of the year, and that was it was terrible. It was a terrible match. But this one, not gut wrenching. I'm not going to say it was good. I'm not going to say it was bad because it was worse than bad, but it was not. I was not angry.
No.
When this match was over.
This was definitely more passable as like a Raw or SmackDown main event.
Sure.
And
some people said this should headline WrestleMania.
Well, that's bullshit.
Well, why would you do that to us? But no.
The only reason you have a champion versus champion like that at a WrestleMania is to pass the torch.
Right. And but again, there's nothing to talk about in this match, except that Roman goes around talking to himself.
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
Drew's kind of like, "What the fuck you doing? Let's fight."
Yeah. Paul's out there. Paul's great. And
he's what you look to when you're supposed to see what emotion Reigns should be demonstrating.
Right. Well, towards the go home of this,
here comes the Jey Uso redemption arc.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Jey Uso runs down to the ring while the ref is distracted.
Right.
Goes to what exactly did he do?
I can't remember. He hit Drew somehow.
He hit Drew, but Drew kind of no-sold it or something. And started and turned his back on Reigns, and
Drew kind of took it more as a glancing blow than anything.
Yeah.
And I think really what happened was Jey ultimately provided enough of a distraction for Roman to take advantage.
Yeah.
Not so much that he hurt him enough to make him vulnerable, but made him vulnerable because Roman was able to take advantage.
Right. So and he catches him with the spear and and does the thing, and there you go. And Roman goes over it. We knew that was going to happen too.
Yeah,
it's the bigger story. It's
and Drew doesn't look bad because of course shenanigans. So it's not a clean win.
Right. And see now, and this is the thing. A lot of people were confused about is that why would you take the belt off of Orton just to put it right back on Drew? Well, Orton's going to run roughshod all over Roman.
Right.
That's gonna be you want to talk about a bad match. That would have been a bad match.
Oh, sure. On top of that, I'm pretty sure that short title reign was the reward for helping make Drew look so good.
Possibly.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like he helps, because that's what, I mean, people have been commenting online. It's like that's what Randy's been really good at doing the past few years, is really helping cement people as champions by helping them like that.
Yeah.
And I'm betting it was.
I'll agree. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, and I think especially with helping with Drew in their series, I think it's like he gets a short win as champion.
Yeah.
And they give it back to Drew, and then they continue.
Yeah. And plus, like I said, we knew that was going to happen anyway, because the week before on SmackDown, Drew showed up, which again, that Raw thing, that whole Raw SmackDown draft thing, it doesn't fucking matter.
Shit, just wave a ticket, man.
Just, I mean, as he shows up, talks to Roman, and Roman goes, "Hey, I tell you what, you get a belt, and we'll see you at Survivor Series." And Drew goes, "Okay," and then he goes on Raw.
Now I just hear Drew as John Mulaney in my head. Okay.
Can I have my belt back now?
No.
In fact, I'm going to frame you for murder.
You're going to do 20 years. Sign this contract.
Okay.
Why are you doing this to me?
Because I'm Vince McMahon.
And life is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
I want John Mulaney to write WWE storylines now.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why that happened.
Yes.
I gave this match 2 Meltzers. Much improved. And
Jay got back in Roman's good graces.
oh, that's true. He comes back
because he saw that Jay came out to help like a good boy.
Yeah, like the good lap dog that he is.
Yes.
Gave him a little hug, kissed him on the cheek, and they all walked back together.
And Jay gets to eat tonight because he still has a place at the table.
There it is. And that was Survivor Series. Now, we did the tribute to The Undertaker.
Because this time he means it.
Yeah. I don't really want to talk too much about it. It was very, it was very nice.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of The Undertaker, if you didn't watch the pay-per-view, I would advise, I would definitely recommend go watch it.
You can. I watch it on like 1.5 speed, but
yeah,
because boy, it's just
it takes a while.
It's his final entrance and exit, and that's all it is.
Mm-hmm. And the only thing that I'm gonna say about this is it's not fair. He should have said his goodbyes in front of a crowd. I said it that night. I still say it now. Not
to be cynical, but that's 2020 for you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You're right. And I'll admit I was kind of like, this seems a bit long, but I was enjoying it. The part that really got me was when they put Paul Bearer in there.
Yeah.
Because I up to that point, I was thinking like they should have just done the oh yes thing like they did at WrestleMania 20 and have him come out then. But then they put him in there in the ring holding the urn when The Undertaker kneeled. It was
very nice. And it was touching.
Very much so.
The end of an era. I hate to say this because it's going to sound mean. I hope he stays gone.
No, that's a fair thing to say, especially in wrestling.
Yeah,
that's what happened though. It was supposed to be I'm done after Roman, after tipping to Roman at WrestleMania, and then the Saudi shows and Vince with the obscene paychecks.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the thing. It's what happened with Andre. Taker is so much of a company man.
Yep.
Vince came asking and
says, "Hey, I'm going to need you to do me a favor,"
and he did. And to the point where he had to rehab for a year in between each match he did, basically.
Right. And it's not fair. Oh, he has one of those cameos things.
Yes, I heard about that. I heard about it.
Where it's where he's charging like $1,000.
A big bucks for it, and
probably deserving,
and people are going for it.
Yeah.
So before the final walk,
sure.
They did something very nice. It's like See, here's a they brought out everyone who's like they came out tonight to pay tribute, and it was was a bunch of people that that he worked with, either in the ring and everything.
Flair, JBL, Godfather,
Savio Vega,
the Godwins,
Rikishi.
Rikishi.
Yes, he was out there. I'm not just.
I don't know why I did that. For some reason, you said Rikishi, and I heard Yokozuna, and I'm like, no. I don't.
You know what sparked that memory? Because we talked about Rikishi
That's
and
exactly
Yokozuna.
why, yeah.
I mean,
it just. Moving on.
Mick Foley, a bunch of people past and present. Kane, they
Kane came out.
made him dress up full gear.
Nobody else did.
No,
they made him put on the damn costume.
Which is even funnier considering everyone got out there, they all waved a bit, fade to black, fade back up, everyone's gone. It's like that was it.
Yeah, poof.
They made poor Glenn Jacobs mayor of Knoxville
to be one of the last people. So you had to wear that for 10 seconds. Probably took you 15 to get it on. The walk down to the ring lasted longer than your welcome, than your farewell.
And it was also extremely awkward to watch because everyone else had gotten to the ring. They shook hands, they hugged, they greeted each other. Kane got in the ring and stood off to the side and looked at everyone.
Yeah.
And a few people, it looked to me like they made motions like, oh, should I...
But see, he was in character. There's Kane and then there's Glenn Jacobs.
Yes.
And he had to be Kane. So if he's Kane, then he doesn't shake hands. I was waiting for the pyro. I'll be honest, but I was like, people are way too close to those rings.
Just kill me because it looked for all the world like it's like we're all coming out in full gear. Go ahead, get your stuff on too, man. And they just went off to the side and snuck out.
Yeah.
If I put all this on, you guys are going to put your stuff on too, right?
Oh yeah.
The Godwins put their stuff on.
They did. The Godwins were the other, but their stuff.
But they didn't have anything else. They're not making any money,
and their stuff is overalls.
Right. That's what I said. That's just regular clothes for them.
Yeah.
That's how they live.
It's I don't. What kind of stinks is Farouk couldn't be out there.
Yeah. But see, Farouk wasn't. I mean, I'm sure they were close, but
he was an acolyte.
He was an acolyte, but he wasn't part of the BSK.
Oh yeah. Well.
So and that's what that was. But yeah,
Shane was out there.
Shane was out there. Well, they had a war.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was very nice, guys. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it. Also watch the Broken Skull sessions with part 2 of him and Taker. It's really good. I just got through watching it the other night. It's great.
But that was
because he talks about Wrestler Court.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
boy.
And it's fun because we've been hearing about all these rumors about Wrestlers Court, about BSK, and all this other stuff, but we've never actually heard it. Or we've heard rumors about him taping up his fist for Michaels during the Montreal Screwjob. We've heard about all this, but we've never heard it from the horse's mouth.
Right.
So it's so much fun to get things confirmed.
Oh, sure.
From Taker, and this is what I've been waiting on for most of my life.
Especially because now, he's done, so he don't mind talking about it anymore.
Right. Yeah. And he even talks about that too. But yeah, that's what we got there. Let's move into our rankings real quick, and then we'll well, actually, you know what? Let's do best and worst there first before we do our rankings.
Okay.
What do you have for best dress, Fashion Plate?
Best dressed. It's kind of difficult for some people because most everyone was, in like a SmackDown or a Raw shirt, especially for the Survivor
See, I thought you
Series.
would have gone with Kane.
No. No. Best, you know what? Normally I kind of rag on it, but I will say I'll put it a tie. New Day for their not only the gear they came out in, but their current gear is Schoolhouse Rock inspired.
True. Yeah. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, it's got because it didn't click till someone, I think maybe Shelby saw it, but I had seen a picture on Twitter of them showing it off where it's got it's New Day Rocks in the Schoolhouse Rocks font, and then across the entirety it's the it's prominent, historical
black leaders,
historical African American leaders and everything. And I will say I'll tie it with the Street Profits. I really liked their gear this time.
Really?
It looked good. I think it looked good. It looked really nice. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Especially what they entered in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay. Well, what do you have for worst?
I'll just give it to Nia again. Her ring gear does not look good.
Yeah. No.
The design of it, I just don't. Doesn't
See,
click.
I thought you would have went with the Godwins.
Well, no, they're farmers. They work. I'm not counting anybody who came out for the tribute.
Okay.
Because that's different.
It's not on the. It doesn't really count as
Doesn't
the card.
really count. No.
I can dig it.
I can make that a tie as well because I'll say Otis because I always hate the way he dresses.
Right.
I hate the baby tank with the trunks. I don't like it. The only other thing I would say that I would rank near it, but it's not even near as bad, is I just don't like Ruby Riot's one full leg, one short pants
Right.
combo. I never really enjoy that, but that's just I can ignore that.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got for best performance, Mr. Hensley?
For best, I'm going to get some shit from this or for this, but I want you to hear my explanation first.
Always.
Best performance of the night, I'm going with Lana, and simply because
Get the fuck out of
I'm sorry.
Leave your own office, and I don't want to.
Doggz. Hold on. He said he had an explanation. He said he could explain it.
I'm not sure I want to hear it.
He said he could explain.
I'm not happy.
simply for her commitment to standing out there and pouting in an entertainment sport where people break so often. Like we talked about it with R-Truth and the Gobbledygooker, like they didn't know the camera was still on them.
Right.
They started smiling and broke off into a little trot. Lana stayed on those steps with that pouty face, with her smeared makeup, all the way until she won, at which point she became ecstatic like a small child. That was the best acting that I saw on the show that night.
All right.
You know what? I don't disagree with that. I can't as much as I want to. What do you have for worst?
Baron fucking Corbin. God damn it. I hate him so much. I don't hate him as much as I do Roman. And in fact, realistically, I should have said Roman, but like as soon as he did that bit with Kevin Owens, I immediately typed on my phone, worst, Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
That bit they did was the only thing that saved it was Kevin Owens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, without question.
Thought about it. Nope.
You could have put anybody in there in place of Baron Corbin, and it would have been fine.
Roman was damn close just for the fucking talking to himself shit that I hate so much.
Yeah. Hopefully that's going to go away now. I'm hoping, but Jesus Christ. Oh, God. So
also, Baron Corbin is still wearing a crown and holding a mace, and no one's questioning him about this.
Right. Well, let me take you into our top 10. This is AEW and WWE with NXT combined. Coming in at number 10. The women's division has not changed a lot. There's a couple of places that has moved around a little bit. But once again, we have number 10, Dakota Kai. Number 9, Nyla Rose. Number 8, Bianca Belair. Number 7, Bayley. Number 6, Shayna Baszler. Number 5, Nikki Cross. Number 4, the legit boss, Sasha Banks. Number 3.
I wonder how long you'll actually say it right.
It won't make it to the next pay-per-view, I'm sure. Io Shirai. Number 2 is your Raw champion, Asuka. And number 1 is AEW champion, Hikaru Shida. Moving on to the men's. Number 10, we have the chairman, Sean Spears. How the hell he got in there, I don't know. Number 9 is your new TNT champion, Darby Allin. Number 8, Keith Lee. Number 7 is Aleister Black, who has been mysteriously absent for a few weeks.
Weird.
Yeah. Wouldn't have anything to do with Zelina Vega getting ousted. Yeah. Where were we at? Number 6 is Cody Rhodes. Number 5, moving up the charts, Bobby Lashley. Number 4, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. Dropping down from the number 1 spot to the number 3 spot, Finn Balor. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to let that hang there because Shelby takes a lot of exception what I said last time we did the rankings when he was number 1, because I was a little confused about how he got there in the first damn place. In the top 5, sure, but go ahead and make fun of me.
Will you stop getting heat with people we work with and enjoy things with?
They get heat with me.
Oh, I see.
I love everyone.
I see.
Except Lana. Number 2 is Jern Merkley. And your number 1 is your WWE champion, Drew McIntyre.
Who some people we were watching had an experience watching him enter.
Yeah.
Because he entered in shirtless with a kilt wielding a sword.
Oh, boy, did that. Hey, I can't even say what I want to say. I'm just
Probably shouldn't.
No, I'm not. I'm just going to let that. The women enjoyed it.
And any attraction my wife had for me died immediately.
Yeah.
It didn't die. It was just ludicrously overpowered by.
If it makes you feel any better, my wife never had any for me. So it's even before this pay-per-view, before Strowman or Drew for that matter.
Well,
so
I regret bringing this up because this just got monumentally sad.
Nah, it's fine. She doesn't listen. Oh, that made it worse, didn't it? Oh, it doesn't matter.
I wouldn't worry. I don't either.
Well, let's do our top 10 for the tag teams. You're going to be surprised to find out that most of these are AEW. Wonder why? Number 10 coming in, brand new to the top 10, Butcher and Blade. Number 9 is going to be the New Day, falling a few spots. Number 8 is the Hurt Business. Number 7, Jurassic Express. Number 6, the team of Orny and Birch from NXT. They're also your NXT Tag Team Champions.
Okay.
I think it's actually the fact that they've tied up with Pat McAfee that's made them drop a couple of notches.
Oh, that's a shame for Bert and Ernie.
Yeah. They're actually a really good team.
I'm sure. Well, I mean, yeah. They get along. They're roommates.
Yeah, they're roommates. It's B&E on their single beds. They can't close their eyes. But yeah, that's just an observation. They can't. Yeah. Number 5 is the Natural Nightmares. Number 4, AEW's Best Friends. Number 3, also AEW, FTR. Number 2, the Street Profits. And the number 1 tag team, it's Chris Barnes' favorite, the Young Bucks.
Oh.
Yeah. Still at that number 1 spot and not moving an inch.
But you know it is moving an inch. One of their hairlines.
Yes. For some reason, it's going down to the face now. It's odd. It's odd. But that's your top 10. Next pay-per-view we've got coming up is actually going to be, this is a takeover. If I remember correctly, it's War Games.
Oh, okay.
Coming up in December. Which,
they should bring back Dismember.
Oh, no, that's going to be an ECW thing. They won't even speak of that anymore. I love War Games. War Games is absolutely my
great idea.
favorite. And then later on, we've got Tables, Ladders, and Chairs to end out this year. Are we going to do a year-end review?
I don't see why not.
And,
I mean, it's going to be a very sad and depressing year in review.
Isn't it?
We're going to get a lot of things confused. A lot of the months and the pay-per-views are going to blend together.
Maybe we can just commission someone to do a Billy Joel "We Didn't Start the Fires" type recap and just play that.
Yeah,
we could probably make that happen. Yeah,
we could.
Quick, go to Fiverr.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now Hensley, we've got our 100th Long Walk episode coming up. What number are we at right now?
I could not tell you. I just spent the last 2 hours. My eyes feel like they're bleeding right now, or else I'd do the math. But we are around in the early 90s.
Okay.
So by the end of the year, we should be at 98 or 99.
So the 90s.
Coming up in January, we will be doing a 100th episode Long Walk Podcast Family crossover event. So that's going to be 100 episodes across all 4 shows.
Will it be a Crisis crossover?
It will. We did that earlier this year at the start of the pandemic. It's going to be the Long Walk Talks crew. This is a work. This is a takeover. And my wife Katie from Long Walk Teeny Talks, all getting together to discuss, what is it, Royal Rumble?
I think if it
times out correctly,
if the stars line up,
if it doesn't line up for that, then we have a backup plan
featuring hopefully a not very angry Robert Bradford.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if it lines up to where the Royal Rumble is not,
we've got that taken care of.
We're still gonna have the fine women from This Is a Takeover to come in and as our special guest for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and our Crisis crossover episode, I got something lined up for that if it doesn't match up with the Rumble.
Who lives? Who dies?
Doggz, if people want to follow you online, where's the best place that they can do that at?
You can hit me up on Instagram at This Is a Work Podcast, and that is all.
Okay. Chris, if people want to find you online and reach out to you, how can they do that?
I mean, they shouldn't, but I'm on Twitter at Chris the OK.
All right. And if you want to follow me personally, you can do that on Instagram at DB Hensley. If you want to keep up with more of our work, you can do that by visiting Long Walk Productions online at longwalk.us, or you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/longwalkpro. If you want to follow our Facebook page for the podcast, you can do that by searching for Long Walk Podcasts. And on Twitter, you can follow us at Long Walk Podcast, singular. And also, early in December on the 11th, you can hear me in Old Town Theater Company's radio production of It's a Wonderful Life.
Ooh.
That is going to be Friday, December 11th at 7 p.m. on WRHI here in Rock Hill. And if I'm understanding it correctly, you can also like WRHI and Old Town Theater Company on Facebook and watch a live stream of the recording of it. We're actually going to be recording video of us doing the audio. So you can listen to it or you can watch us recording it live.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at david.longwalk@gmail.com. Otherwise, we'll see you soon with another new episode of Long Walk Talks. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure to leave us a rating and a review on whatever platform you are listening on.
And ladies and gentlemen, always remember, if you got out of bed this morning and you had a job to go to and somebody that cares about you when you get home, folks, this match is over and you just won via pinfall. Thank you very much for listening to This Is a Work.